I'm getting out of this city and I'm going down the line. I hear an overdriven guitar with the ancient hums, and the beating of the sleepers is the sound of the drums. I hear the whistle blowing, chills run down my spine. I'm getting out of this city and I'm going down the line.
G'day, I'm Scott McGregor. Welcome to my place, and welcome to my adventures down the line. You know, when the cold winds blow up here on the mountain, my thoughts fly to warmer climes. We're going on a treasure hunt by train to far north Queensland. Have a look at this beautiful old map here. It's been in the family for more than 80 years. It's a bit like a treasure map, rich with railway lines running right through the heart of Queensland's Savannah. The far north is special because it's the home of three of Queensland's most eccentric and resilient lines. Three real little treasures with great stories to tell. They have a special place in the hearts of the locals and are a mecca for train travellers from all over the world. There's no other place on the planet quite like far north Queensland. This is going to be a great trip. Our journey will take us across what was once a great inland sea, through Dinosaur country, up to the Gulf of Carpentaria and back across Cape York. I can already feel myself starting to thaw out. Now this journey is like a giant loop really, right through far north Queensland. And if everything goes according to plan, we'll find ourselves right back here in Cairns. First job, down to the station for our trip south to Townsville, and then it's west on the route of the Inlander.
Well, the only way to drive
Looks like the whole city is out in force at the train station today to welcome one of its newest visitors. What a way to get started. The thing I like about Queenslanders is how much they appreciate their railway. I didn't expect this kind of reception. And I reckon if you love your trains enough, you keep getting the best. This one's a beauty. The newest, fastest passenger train in Australia. And this would appear to be its maiden voyage.
The city of Cairns.
I get addicted to the rhythm when I'm going down the line.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Cairns train will depart the Cairns station in 1 minute.
I can't believe it. First ever tilt train to depart Cairns. What a great way to start. Here we go. You've got your very own tilt train show bag here. You've got your own tilt train model to make. You've got your tilt train hat to put on. You've got your tilt train tattoos. Go easy, you lot. Too much fun. As fond as I am of the old world traditions of train travel, I tell you, these modern creature comforts are a nice touch. And I suspect as we head bush, things are going to get a tad rougher. Anyway, time to sit back, relax, enjoy this excellent window on the world, and prepare for the challenges ahead. The east coast of Queensland is a virtual train highway. The lines cut a swathe through the cane fields, across some huge rivers, and move through the thick rainforests of the northern coastline. Well, next stop Townsville, and the beginning of our trip west. Now, word spreads quickly up here, and the locals are already loading me up with deliveries. This one's special though. A small but vital piece of Queensland railway history has mysteriously reappeared after 20 years. G'day, Paul, is it?
Yes, Scott.
Mate.
Nice to meet you.
You got something for me, mate?
I got this for you, for Ken at the Gulflander. It's been missing for about 20 years.
Fair dinkum.
Can you make sure he gets that?
No problem, mate.
Excellent.
Nice piece.
Thanks a lot.
See you, Paul.
See you, Ray.
G'day. Now, the Inlander takes us, well, inland, west, across the ranges and out into what was once a vast inland sea. The problem is, the train only leaves Townsville twice a week, which creates a few scheduling problems for us, particularly because we want to jump on and off the train to have a good look around. Passenger trains play only a very small part in the life of this line. But with a couple of my mates working down at the yards, it's the freight trains, which run every couple of hours, that might be my best option. The line west from Townsville was built from the coast to chase the riches on offer further inland. Every time something was discovered further west, this line headed out to meet it. The end of the line back in 1882 was Charters Towers. Well, Jim, that was a good run, mate. Charters Towers sits 90 miles from the coast. Established in 1872, it soon exploded with Queensland's biggest gold rush. There's still a fair bit of mining around, but another industry is the main game today. This is the Dalrymple Cattle Yards. Cattle are brought here from all over the state, and being adjacent to the track means they come and go by train.
22, number 2 a bidder. 22, unlimited 22, 2 a bidder. Hey, 157 coming to look on here.
The auctioneer today is Jim Gainey, and by the sound of things, he's having a pretty good day. So, Jim, where do all these cattle come from?
Today there's a fair range of them all over North Queensland. We've had from Ainslie, where you guys are going, and been, and up through there. There's some cattle there from Forsyth, Georgetown.
Yeah.
Cattle from out in the west of us here, and then locally here down towards the Volcanic. That's a couple hundred kilometres away. So, yeah, probably all around North Queensland. Yeah, they come from the coast, from towns away too. Yeah.
Now, the buyers are sometimes hard to pick. Notebooks offer a clue, but who's actually bidding? Yeah, there's one. Check out that little finger move.
There can be no margin of error that that's what that fellow is paying for. So we mark him and identify him permanently.
He's okay, he just wants a pat. When that bloke pulled you up earlier and said he's been bitten, what's that mean?
Oh, that's that was a dog bite, you know, probably as a young calf.
What, a dingo or something?
Yeah, dingo, yeah, he's bitten that
really?
calf, yeah, and it's just left a little mark on it.
The lion one.
Too big a bite for a dog.
That's why I said a puppy. He reckons it's a big lion. So the boys reckon it's a lion, and I reckon it's a pup. So it was only a little
So they're
baby
trying
pup.
to talk it up, you're trying to talk it down, and somewhere in the middle there's about $1.20 in it.
And really, all it was a scratch mark.
A scratch mark. Back in the heady days of the gold rush, the local newspaper editor humbly described Charters Towers as the centre of the world. This courtyard was the centre of Charters Towers world, the home of Australia's only regional stock exchange. All these offices here were filled with brokers and traders, and 3 times a day the card would be called in front of a heady mix of dealers, miners, rogues and townsfolk.
Today we have Daydon Mills, Brilliant, New Queen and Bonnie Dundee. What am I bid, ladies and gentlemen? What am I bid?
The telegraph line out of Charters Towers buzzed with information pumping back to the cities, and the town thrived on the promise of the seemingly endless wealth from underground. Now, our line west sits alongside the cattle yards. I'm with Ron Phillipson. He's a local stock contractor, and his team are responsible for keeping the cattle traffic moving here in the yards. So, mate, you ever been to Sydney?
Yeah, I went there once. I went there for 3 weeks. Come home after 4 days.
Did you?
Oh, gee.
Couldn't handle it?
Not really, no.
Hey, get you a cup of tea?
I don't know. I wasn't there long enough to see. Oh, just too many people and too many,
This is the ideal life, you reckon?
Oh, yeah. Quiet and healthy and... You're here, aren't you?
Yeah,
you going
I'm
home
here.
or you staying?
I'll stay for a little while. I love it. Well, we're heading out. Next stop, Hughenden. bustling metropolis it's not. Perhaps this fellow's scared everyone off. Hughenden sits on the edge of what was once the ancient Eromanga Sea and has some pretty amazing geographical features. It's not quite the Grand Canyon, but out here they like to think it's the next best thing. The bloke I'm with is the man you need if you want to find a dinosaur. In fact, the locals reckon he's the David Attenborough of Queensland's Savannah.
The 120-metre walls of this gorge record nearly 500 million years of geological history. It's the story of the development of the Great Artesian Basin, and these sandstones hold the water that's pumped out west. Above those are the rocks of the Cretaceous period, which hold the dinosaurs and other fossils, and lots of them too. How was that, Scotty?
Excellent, mate. You're going to do me out of a job. Dr. Alex Cook is a man with a few skeletons in his cupboard. He's one of Australia's leading paleontologists. He works out at the Queensland Museum, but spends a great deal of time out here, hoping to discover yet another clue to the jigsaw puzzle that's Australia's prehistoric past.
Why
were the dinosaurs here?
Well, the dinosaurs are in those rocks right up the top, and they're at the edge of the inland sea, and part of the inland sea. Some of them got washed in. They just happened to be the right age and the right place at the right time. Heaps of creeks around this country are just great places because they're slowly eroding the country and they're revealing the rocks and doing all sorts of things. So erosion's going on all the time, but one of the really amazing things about these creeks is, the Gulf river systems, nearly half of Australia's fresh water goes out in the Gulf.
Right.
It's just amazingly huge systems.
The gorge itself seems to go on a long way.
Yeah, it's about 50k long, I suppose.
50 k's?
Yeah, it's depth varies, but it's a pretty long gorge. Pretty amazing creek to make that in the last 5 million years.
Well, sure. And I imagine in the wet season, where does the water rise to?
Well, it's well and truly above our heads.
Oh, really? So she'd be...
Oh, yeah, and it absolutely rips through here.
Does it? Catching trains sometimes requires a little patience. Talking with Alex tends to put time in perspective as he goes over the millions of years that have shaped the land around here. First passenger train into Hughenden was back in 1885. Just yesterday, really.
Sounds like a train, mate. Righto, Alex, now the idea is we'll try and jump the freighter, okay? You gonna pull up down there? Catch a ride to Richmond? Come on, mate, let's go. Let's go. Welcome to jumping a freighter, mate. This is the way to go.
Here we are, Scott. Moment 40 metres under the water in the inland sea.
So, this is the ocean floor, mate.
Yeah, mate, you wouldn't know looking at it, but...
You wouldn't, no.
Yeah, we'll show you some fossils, we'll prove it to you, eh?
Excellent. Our train was more like a submarine then, mate.
Absolutely, submarine.
Let the treasure hunt begin. Or should that be dinosaur hunt?
Right, here we are, mate. Welcome to Richmond.
Excellent.
This place is paradise for fossil hunters, mate. Just about everywhere you go, you'll find something really, really interesting.
Excellent.
Let's go get you kitted out, eh?
I love the street furniture,
Oh,
mate.
that's good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Scott.
All right, fossils galore. G'day.
Welcome to the lab.
Fantastic.
Right, Scotty, the sort of things you're looking for range from the small things like this one. This one, there's a little tooth, and it's off that fella out the front, the Chronosaurus.
Good.
But there's big things as well. You've got to look for this guy here. Big nautiloid. Lots of big things, lots of small things.
Beautiful shell there.
Yeah, keep your eyes open, eh?
Oh, yeah, I think I got the general idea, mate. Let's attack it.
Sometimes it's hard to find stuff, but sometimes, Scotty, it's as obvious as this here. Have a look at this. A couple of vertebrae.
Oh, yeah.
By the shape of this one, I know exactly what it is. This is a creature called an ichthyosaur.
Right.
Looks a bit like a dolphin.
Yeah.
It used to swim in the sea 100 million years ago. But this one we've left here so people can see what they look like, where they're found.
So, how did it come to rest here, Alex? I mean...
Well, you've got to remember, you're about 40 metres underwater here and you've got lots of things swimming around you. Now, occasionally some of them are going to die. They're going to fall to the bottom. They get covered with sediment. Millions of years later, here's the fossil.
It's fantastic, mate.
Great stuff.
Let's find another one.
Okay. What's that? What's that? It's a round rock.
Oh, nice.
Oh, a bit of squid, bit of thing called belemnite. Yeah, the oyster next to it, yeah.
Starting to get an eye for it. It's a beautiful spot. You'd have to consider it pretty special.
Oh, mate, this is one of the best places in the world to find fossils of this age, you know. It's really good stuff.
I'm very happy with my mollusks. So you should be.
Oh, g'day, Tom. A couple of beers, thanks, mate.
No worries, mate.
This is a great place. I tell you what, thanks heaps for everything. I've really enjoyed today.
No worries, mate.
That's great.
Thanks, mate.
Here's cheers.
Cheers.
Let's sit outside and watch trains go by, eh?
No worries, mate.
Ah, I tell you what, dinosaurs and trains. Doesn't get much better.
Doesn't it? I reckon.
From Richmond, a familiar pattern developed. Further gold discoveries led to small settlements, which became pit stops for the stagecoaches. These places grew to service centres for the burgeoning sheep and cattle industries. And inevitably, with the need for a reliable link to the coast, the railway followed. Julia Creek in 1890. Cloncurry in 1907. And finally, the end of the line, Mount Isa. And with much fanfare, under the banner of progress and prosper, the first train rolled into Mount Isa in 1929. So why the big fanfare and banner of progress and prosper? Well, 6 years earlier, another treasure had been found, and mining had begun here at the Isa. Mount Isa is a mining town, and the mining complex dominates the horizon. Mount Isa Mines is the world's third largest producer of lead, 5th largest producer of silver, 10th largest producer of zinc, and the 19th largest source of copper. Not missing much, are they? And there's one special feature here that I really wanted to see. Only problem is, it lies nearly a mile underground. Well, Jim, it's been a few years since we used to ride the Mudgee Mail together on the way to boarding school, mate. Jim Simpson, an old schoolmate, is the mine general manager, and he's been in Mount Isa for about 3 years. He's going to make sure I don't get lost. Good on, mate. Righto, Jim, where are we now, mate?
We're on 19 level, and we're about a kilometre down.
A kilometre?
On this level alone, we've got about 30 kilometres of rail. The ore is picked up from the passes by the train, and it's taken along that 20 or 30 kilometres, and it's tipped into the tipples.
Well, this looks like fun.
This is the mule.
Righto, I'm secure. Away we go.
What we call things like mules came from when they were mining hundreds of years ago, and this used to be a horse.
Right, like a pit pony.
Yeah, like a pit pony.
You know, you're on these little carts underground in a complete other world.
Gotta watch those signs.
Yeah, you've got to watch out for the signs above. So the celebration surrounding the arrival of that first train back in 1929 proved to be well-founded, because without the train link to the coast, the eventual success of the mine and the building of the town would not have been possible. And today, well, Mount Isa still sits a long way from anywhere. Time to move on now, and we're heading north to another line and a train that has a special place in Queensland Railway's Hall of Fame. We're heading north to Normanton and the Gulf of Carpentaria. There were plans once to build a line from here up to there, but it got sidetracked by a gold rush. So, time to think laterally. I'm catching a lift with a local postie. G'day.
G'day, Scott. How are you?
Normanton is a place for fishermen and train travellers, But a century ago, there were people here with visions of creating a major Australian city. This is all that remains of Australia's great northern port. Big plans were made here for ships to dock from overseas, bringing passengers, mail and goods, and then connecting with a railway line heading south to inland Queensland and the rest of Australia. In the late 1800s, Normanton was the boom town of the Gulf country. It was the only port and supply link for new townships growing out of the surrounding gold rushes. Croydon, just down the road, was said to be the next Charters Towers, with sizable goldfields growing by the day. And that was all that was needed. People, a bit of economic and political influence, and sure enough, you get a railway line built. So with road transport continually thwarted by monsoonal rains and enormous floods, work finally started on the 7th of May 1888 on the 110-mile line from Normanton to Croydon, and a national railway treasure was created. Meet Ken Millard, driver, mechanic and station master for Normanton and Croydon. He's also going to be well pleased with what I've got in my bag. Hey Ken. How are you, mate?
Scotty, how are you?
Excellent. How's she going?
It's running really well.
Excellent. Well, look, I've got something for you. I've been on a few details on the way here, but you'll be pleased to see this. Have a look.
The boys in Townsville.
They've come good.
At last.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for this. How do you reckon we're going to do this?
Well, I think it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Because it originally came from here, so it must go back pretty easy.
Oh, you don't know what they've changed over the years.
This goes up there. Right, can you hold that one up? Tell me about the old rail motor here. She's a beauty.
It started life originally intending to be an AEC utility chassis, either going to be used as a bus or a truck.
Yeah.
This one was converted in 1931.
Right.
We believe this rail motor today is possibly the oldest, most original rail motor running in Australia.
I think that's it now. Let's rig her up and see what happens.
You going to give it a test run?
So how does old RM60 go, mate? She good?
Runs well.
Yeah? Okay, test run. Always like to see an original piece restored to its rightful home.
Bit nasty.
That was great, mate. So we'll do it all again tomorrow with the big train, eh?
Looking forward to it.
That'll be fun, mate. Well done. Well done, RM60. What a jet. Big day tomorrow. Can't wait. The Gulflander departs every Wednesday morning, and this is when the multi-talented Ken has his hands full. Morning, Ken.
Good morning, Scott.
How are you, mate?
I'm fine.
Gee, it's all go here today.
Oh, we're very busy.
Anything I can do?
I've got a job for you.
Yeah, what?
It's delivering the mail. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. All those people travelling on the 8:30 Gulflander, travelling Normanton to Croydon, please take your seats. We will be departing in 2 minutes. Thank you.
What's it like out here in the wet season?
It's just beautiful. Most of this country becomes like a large swamp. We can have water lilies even growing over the railway line. So they're definitely very scenic, green, all the bush flowers are out. Just a beautiful time of year to travel.
G'day guys, how are you? I'm your delivery person today. Good to see you. I'd love to stay and chat. I really would, but Gulflander awaits. See you, mate. All the best, okay? So, Barry, is it? Scott, mate, I'm your mailman today, but look, pretty simple. No bills, but what is it, mate?
Just reading glasses.
Reading glasses?
That's the story.
You need those.
I do.
Well, that's my job done as postie. Time to relax and watch the Savannalander go by. What do you think the railway line means today for the people who live here?
Look, it's an icon that's recognised all over the world. People from all over the world know this train as a part of Australia's outback. And for the people along the line, well, they still rely on the Gulflander, bringing through mail and freight that other people take it for granted. You know, people out here still rely on the Gulflander to bring that through in the hard times of year.
Yeah, right. Now, this is what saved the line, is it? Tell me about them.
There's nothing really special about them, except that they're laid on the ground. They're laid very low cost, laid cheaply. There's no ballast. They're open-ended, which is not common with steel sleepers, but they're in good nick. Look, black casting and milling scar still on them.
It is too.
Look, they look about 20 years old. They're 115 years old.
That's amazing. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, I'm a bit thirsty after the journey. That's what Black Bull siding's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Good cup of tea and a scone or something?
Always been a morning tea stop, Black Bull.
Has it? Great. Whoa! There was a redback on the toilet seat when I was there last night. I like the fact that people come from all over the world to jump on this train, so they can travel from nowhere to nowhere. Well done, mate. That should just about do it, eh? Well done. What a great trip, eh? Croydon has shrunk a little since the halcyon days of the gold rush. The town is now home to about 250 people, which is a far cry from the 6,000 who scoured the surrounding area for gold over 120 years ago. Well, with my official duties on the Gulflander complete, it's time to join my fellow travellers in the local for a celebratory drink and some Queensland hospitality. Cheers, boys. Well done, mate. Really great stuff. Well done, mate. Without a rail link, the next challenge is to get myself across the remainder of the Savannah country to the tiny outback town of Forsyth, where I'm due to meet my next train, the Savannalander, which is going to take me back towards the coast and Cairns. Most of what you see here is a cattle property called Robin Hood, which Jim Gainey told me about back in Charters Towers. This is Simon Terry. It was some of his cattle we saw back in those sale yards.
Oh, I see. No worries, mate.
You're telling me earlier you're not too crazy on heights. You've got a windmill and a bottle of oil. I'm putting two and two together. All right. So, Simon, when did your family come to the district?
Originally, we came into this area about the 1920s and were grazing sheep originally and then decided to switch over into the cattle. In the early 1960s, we bought this property and been up here ever since.
How's it been?
It's been pretty good. We've had our ups and downs with some dry years, but it's fairly consistent seasons up here, and it's in handy position for live export.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So everything's going swimmingly, except when it comes to windmills.
Yeah, mate, I don't like windmills, so I guess this is your job.
Well, I'm a bit of a Don Quixote myself, but wish me luck, mate.
Okay.
So, Simon, who does this when I'm not around?
Oh, at a pinch, I will go up.
At a pinch, eh?
Yeah.
So how high is this mill?
About 50 foot, Scott.
What?
This is Simon's other job, navigator. We're cruising down the Cobalt Gorge on the way to Forsyth.
So tell me, when did you discover the gorge?
In about 1992, we did our first cruise up the gorge here. We were a little interested because as kids we used to play around, swim in the waterhole here.
What a great place for kids to come and hang.
Yeah. We decided we'd do some cruises along the gorge here and show some people through the sandstone country, which, as you can see, is quite different.
Well, it's very peaceful and quiet here now, but what's it like in the wet season?
Takes quite a change about. We've got about 5-6 metres of water that just comes rushing through here down into the Robinson River. As you can see, all these rocks in here are water-worn, and the walls.
And the Robinson River's completely flooded there?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
you couldn't even get in here if you wanted to?
That's right, yeah.
Fascinating.
There's a little croc there behind us, Scott, just on the rock.
Oh, yeah, little fingerling. Big enough to take your finger off.
That's about it.
Fantastic. So where to from here, Simon?
Just head down the creek here. When you hit the Robinson River, hang a right. And you'll find your way from there.
Thanks heaps, mate.
Cheers, mate.
We'll see ya.
All the best.
Here we go. Down the creek, hang a right.
Right, follow the riverbed for a few miles, then turn right. Yeah, let's hope it doesn't rain. Where's that map when you need it? Forsyth. Right. Puzzling. No station master. No timetables. Certainly no train yet. Oh well, shouldn't be too long, I suppose.
G'day, mate.
Where's the Savannalander?
Oh, the bridge is out at Ainsley, so the line finishes at Mount Surprise at the moment.
Oh, okay. Thanks, mate.
And this is where the problem lies for this section of the line and the Savannalander.
In a recent storm, the heavens burst open and an amazing 300 millimetres or 13 inches fell in one night. That's half the annual average for this district. The bridge was completely submerged as a wall of water tore down the Copperfield River.
Alan Starr, the local publican, watched the whole drama unfold from his front veranda. The Ainsley Hotel sits in a paddock alongside the river and the railway line.
Straight out in front of us, there's sort of 10-foot waves. I reckon you would have been able to surf all the way to Surprise.
Tell me about the bridge. She didn't fare too well.
Well, without it, we're sort of stranded whenever it rains. We get good rain like that because we used to be able to sort of sneak across it and get on the other side, so we still had an access out.
Tell me, mate, Any chance of a lift to Mount Surprise?
Yeah, I reckon we can fit that in.
Good on
Not
ya.
a problem.
Now, looking around Alan's pub, his collection of old vehicles doesn't really instill me with the greatest of confidence.
Oh, this looks all right.
The way to go, mate.
Get a bit of fun in this machine. All right, mate, let's go.
Let's go.
Terrific. Woo!
Well, thanks to Alan, I've managed to get to Mount Surprise a bit ahead of the Savannalander. Time to see what this town has to offer. Just the ticket, a bit of local knowledge.
Well, howdy.
Hello.
How you doing? Toby's Mount Surprise Tours. Excellent. I'm Scott. G'day. Good to meet you, Toby. How are you?
Good.
Hey, look, I'll take you up on the offer of a tour. What do you got to show us?
Creek rocks, and trees, and birds.
Sounds great. Let's have a look around. Lead on. So, do you live here?
Yeah. Scott, come and have a look at this.
What do you got?
A basket spider.
Basket spider. Wow.
It has a white web like a basket, and the bugs try and go down to the ground and they get caught in it. This is a chinky apple. Do you want one?
Yeah, I'll have a go. Oh, you eat these things when they're green?
Yep.
Oh, mate, that's awful, Toby.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm coming. Look at this, it's beautiful.
Yep.
You come down here and swim?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
There's heaps of fish and
Fish? What sort of fish do you get?
there's black brim perch, sooty grunter, and there's yabbies.
Yabbies? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
thinking yabbies.
Can you guess how many sleepers there is across this track?
How many sleepers across this bridge?
Yeah.
223.
Nah,
More or less?
less.
187.
Nah,
150?
nah.
So, Toby, what trains run along here?
Oh, the Savannalander.
Ah, yes, the Savannalander. How often does she run?
Twice a week, I think.
Tell me, mate. How many sleepers were there on the bridge?
152.
152. That's close. Must be fun living near the railway line,
Yep.
waiting for the train to come in.
Yep.
So where's the best place for a bloke to stay around here, Toby?
Undara Laboratories.
Yeah, what's there?
There's carriages that have got train things.
Oh, yeah? That sounds good.
That way.
It's out there, is it?
Yeah.
Thanks heaps. I really enjoyed it. And I wish you the best of luck, Toby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see you, mate. Cheerio. The whole of the Undara National Park was a cattle property up until just a couple of years ago. And the owner decided that for people to be able to come out here, they needed a good place to stay. Now, being a man of style and good taste, he decided that old railway carriages would be just the answer. He also liked them because he could slot them in amongst the trees here. Oh. Ha-ha. Yes, perfect. Well, with plenty of the day ahead of me, it's time to have a look around. Hey, Joe, I tell you, I love Toby's little tour of Mount Surprise. He certainly knows his stuff, mate.
At least there's someone in the family who knows what they're talking about.
About 190 million years ago, this area was a seething mass of volcanoes with rivers of lava pouring out across the plains. One volcano in particular created something truly remarkable.
This volcano here, Kalkani, was a gas vent volcano that steamed away, throwing up lava bombs that you see strewn around the side of the crater here. But Undara, the big one in the district, just over there, was completely different. It oozed lava out on a vast scale. 1,500 square kilometres covered this district here, and it's left some amazing underground formations. The lava poured down off Undara Mountain into this ancient riverbed here. But as it flowed, it began to cool on the outside, forming a crust like a tube, which allowed the red-hot lava on the inside to continue flowing through, creating these amazing caves. What are these marks on the side of the tube here, mate?
Well, it's got their, what they call lava level lines. And once the tubes had formed and the crust had sealed over, the lava would actually drop inside the tube. And it'd flow at that height for a period of time and leave a little lip on the wall.
Why was it able to flow so easily?
Well, it was very well insulated inside this conduit, this lava tube. It remained very viscous and could travel for about 160 kilometres. So that's it.
So wide open countryside now, mate. You wouldn't know it was here.
So my epic journey back to the coast begins.
Well, Joe, fantastic, mate. Can't fault the service. Thanks, heaps. We'll see you, mate.
This train, much like the Gulflander, has a very special place in the hearts of most people up here in far north Queensland. And why wouldn't it? It looks a bit like a retro spaceship, but with a couple of Rolls-Royce engines underneath. It's going to take me on a sensational trip for the whole day.
Welcome aboard the Savannalander. My name is Alan. We're going right through to Cairns today. Our arrival time, 1940 tonight.
The line was actually built by the Chiligo Mining Company. They were unstoppable back at the turn of the last century, as they discovered valuable deposits of copper and other minerals all over the place. They linked most of these mines with one of the largest privately owned railways in Australia, a legacy which the Savannalander makes full use of.
All right. So, Dave, what's the schedule here today, mate?
What schedule?
Schedule? I mean, we've got some stops, haven't we? I mean, there must be a timetable or something. How does it work?
Yeah, we got a timetable. We leave Mount Surprise at 8:15 and we get to Cairns at 18:40. Well, what happens in the middle, nobody cares, as long as everybody's happy.
Is that right?
That's right.
That's great. My kind of train. I reckon this is the first time I've ever been on a train that's had an unscheduled fishing stop. What fish are here, Alan?
Mainly backbrim, Scott.
Yeah? Yeah. Oh! Well, you got him, hey? You got something? Unbelievable! What's that? He's a genius, this bloke, don't you reckon? He's the fish whisperer. So the Hughenden Railway Hotel, this is our scheduled lunch stop.
It certainly is.
Terrific, good timing. G'day.
G'day, how are you?
Excellent. What was Hughenden like in its heyday?
A mining town, principally mining, grazing, and to a larger extent than it is today, railway town.
Ah, Nan, great pie. Thank you. One of Nan's famous steak and mushroom pies. Ah, g'day. Here we go. Nan's famous pies. Tell you what, the newspaper, the mango smoothie, we're getting close to civilization. I'm stopping at Marie because there's something special I want you to see. A branch line heads off to the south, across the tablelands and up into the ranges. And there's a couple of good old friends of mine on that line who I haven't seen in a long time. This is Roger. He was born in 1927 at the Scotswood Workshops in Newcastle in England. He started work for Queensland Railways that same year. Nowadays, he lives in Atherton. This is Capella. She lives 40 miles up the line here in Ravenshoe. Now, she was born in 1925 in the railway's own workshops at Ipswich here in Queensland. So she's a local girl. What I'm about to tell you here is a true railway romance. Roger toiled for 42 years and travelled 1,056,636 miles, mostly on the inland route between Townsville and Mount Isa. Seeking a quieter life, he rested in a local park for 25 years. And then, in 1994, he came out of retirement and a beautiful romance blossomed when he joined Capella up here in the lush Atherton tablelands. Capella too found working on the mountain line up here at Ravenshoe to her liking. And with a loving band of volunteers to look after her, the only thing that was missing was a partner to share the joy of working on Queensland's highest railway. Every weekend they'd both steam up, Capella leaving Ravenshoe and Roger leaving Atherton. And they'd battle a tricky undulating line, finally meeting up halfway at Herberton for lunch, a cool drink and a romantic interlude. And for a few years, it was steam heaven for these two engines.
However, not all is as it should be with Roger and Capella. Bushfires and floods over the past few years have cut the line. Neither Roger or Capella can reach Herberton at the moment. And although a loyal band of volunteers are working tirelessly in an effort to bring them together again, it's a tall order. Track maintenance is a constant drain on their very limited resources.
You can sense the frustration in Roger. He knows that Capella awaits for him just over the ranges, but he can't go any further. All he can do is sit here and hope that one day this path will be restored. Tell me about Capella, Brian.
Yeah, well, Capella, she's been running for the last 13 years, every weekend, totally run by volunteers.
Fantastic. So they've got 3 carriages here, they're all different. What do you call this?
Well, this one's a K-wagon, it's a cattle wagon.
Right.
The other 2 we've got, one's a first class, one's a second class. This one carries all the livestock. We got plenty of them.
Yes.
Yeah, real live.
You'll get into trouble,
real
mate.
live.
Tamoolan, Queensland's highest railway station. At a tad over 3,000 feet, a chance for Capella to let off a bit of steam. And she's off. North to 60 in 8.5 seconds, not bad. You've got to remember, we got 1,000 horses in this loco. You steamheads, there's no doubt about it. For this story to have a happy ending, and for Roger and Capella to live happily ever after, well, that's up to you. So if you're up in Cairns and you come out to Atherton and Ravenshoe, make sure you ride the train. It'll help get Roger and Capella back together again.
Come on, strict timetable to stick to.
Bit of a side trip, mate, sorry.
Well, I'm coming to the end of my journey now. Almost full circle through Queensland's extraordinary Savannahland. When I think back to that old map at home hanging on the wall in the shed, all those names and lines come alive.
Well, this journey's a little different for me. Instead of going home, home's coming to me. So it's time to wash the dust off and enjoy a bit of far North Queensland beaches and sunshine. And I tell you, there's nothing better than being met on a station platform by the family. Before I dart off, Dave, thanks heaps for a great trip. Absolutely first class.
Glad you enjoyed it, Scotty.
I'll see you, mate, down the line. Oh, oh, great to see you. Hello, darling. Oh, how are you? Hello, little one. How are you? Oh, let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go.